Alrighty, what's up, Taylor? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nikolai, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's going very good, and I'm very happy to have you with us. You have a very interesting journey, and what I really enjoy is always having you on our Blockchain Business Builders networking calls, because you immediately bring so much different perspectives to the room, not only on the blockchain, but overall on the digital transformations, because this is the thing that you're doing every day, all day, 24/7. And yeah, very interesting conversations happen when you are in the chat. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, of course. I enjoy it. That networking piece that I get to experience, once or twice a month when time is available is awesome. I love learning from all the people that are there, hearing everyone's unique stories and journeys, how they got into the space, how they're attaching themselves to the space, and what they're excited about in the future. Gives me more fuel in my day-to-day working in digital transformation to just kind of go explore other corners of this growing landscape.
Yeah. Thank you for for a nice ad for Blockchain Business Builders. If you haven't joined, the link below. But Taylor, we start every show with asking, what are your top 3 actionable takeaways for Web3 BDs to start selling better right now? What do you think?
For Web3
For
videos to
BDs.
start to, I would say that the first three things that I would think about for the Web3 to get people to think about it, to take action, is to remove all of the noise from the equation, all of the price charts and all of the dollar signs, and start to think about the integration of what new technologies look like for your job. So I always tell people, what is it you do? How does technology incorporate itself already in your job? And then let's think about what that could look like in the future. I tell people, you've been Googling for decades. Why don't you just Google teacher blockchain? You're a teacher, great. Go find out what's happening in the blockchain space in education. Or you are a UPS driver. They're making breaking news right now. You're a UPS driver. Search, truck delivery blockchain, and people will start to see what is happening in their industry. And then to get people excited to build community and content around that and talk about those things is something that helps the B2B space and businesses kind of uncover what it is that's happening in their industry, because it's a very fast-paced landscape. We were just on a B2B podcast a couple weeks ago, and our CEO was mentioning, if you're not at least a little bit interested and intrigued as to how this technology is incorporating itself in your industry, you're going to want to be paying attention, because you might be left behind. So that's the first thing I tell people is be interested in your one industry.
Main thing,
Next,
right?
yeah, the next thing I tell people is there anyone in your network that has been involved in this space that you could talk to? Because we have been in this space now for over a decade, and it's growing, and people have people, right? They like to talk and they like to share their experiences, and not all of them are good, but to be able to hear people's experiences from someone that's more of like a warm connection is something that I'm always interested to point people towards, because a lot of people won't lie. If they had a good experience, they're going to share how. If they had a bad experience, they're going to share how. And then people can do with that information what they want. And the last thing I do is I say, find a way to stay up to date. Whether it's a networking group like yours, whether it's a newsletter, whether it's a podcast that you subscribe to, or whatever it is that you can do, can you find 5 to 10 minutes a week to want to learn more about this space? Because I think in those 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to be able to put yourself in a position against your peers that puts you in a favorable light, right? It's like starting a race with a little bit of a head start. So be interested in how it's incorporating into your industry. Be discussing how people in your network have been affected by the space or how their experiences have been, and then find a source of information that is trustworthy so that you can immerse yourself and learn, because that's literally what got me to where I'm at, is just immersion, hours of podcasts, learning, audiobooks, and stuff.
Folks, this is the gold, because Taylor has experience, and he came to the industry just recently, last year, and for such a short period of time, the only diversifying fact, like that diversifies Taylor from everybody else, the rest is his mindset. And these top 3 things, I think they are the core foundation, what's brought you like the most of the success in these new emerging technologies in new industries. And so Taylor, please tell me more about the Mainstay Digital, what you guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Mainstay Digital is a it's an exciting company to be a part of because we are really passionate about digital transformation in a
Hmm.
very fast-paced digital transformative 2023. We help businesses in lots of different areas. So we offer websites. Sometimes businesses need a website to be updated because it's been 10, 15 years. Other times a business might need a custom portal for their user
Hmm.
data so that their clients can track the amount spent and the performance over what it is that they're doing or interacting with. We do internal and external portals. We do lots of different custom software solutions as well as media solutions for businesses that are growing and are trying to build a media team larger one day, but might not have the infrastructure for it during specific growth phases. So we help them build culture around their brand,
Hmm.
build community awareness around what they're doing, really help amplify their voice in an ever-changing online ecosystem. So when we promote ourselves as being a solution agnostic company, it's really
Hmm.
a fun opportunity to build a relationship with someone, find out what initiatives that they have in the digital space, and then tailor a solution around that need while
Yeah.
also helping them get ahead in an ever changing Web3 infrastructure as well, whether it's sharing news or pulling themselves in and promoting their work on Mainstay Digital. That's something that we do. So if you check out our website, you're not just going to see products and services, you're also going to see a hub of professionals in lots of different areas talking about innovative stuff that's happening that is one, interesting, and two, it's educational and helps you stay ahead. So just trying to be that one-stop shop for businesses as they're capitalizing on opportunity and ushering them in an educational way to the future of the internet. That's what we're all about at Mainstay.
Very nice. It's I just wanted to say that it's one-stop shop and you just got the word. Then my question would be also around this new futuristic vision. Do you see Web3 blockchain overall? How do you see it helping us to get to Mars, getting and colonizing the space? What role can it play overall?
As in, like, legitimately helping us get to Mars? Are we speaking legitimately or figuratively? Because I think it could be handled in both senses.
Let's talk more from the not from the direct like do this ABC, but more on in general, like in broad overview. Like for example, one of the in the first of the podcasts, there was an opinion that because Web3 is removing intermediaries and blockchain is removing intermediaries from the process, this means the economy is moving faster. And if the economy is moving faster, then we're getting there faster because there is more ideas, more money overall in the system that can go into different projects like space exploration programs and et cetera, et cetera. And this can be have a very positive impact. I'm curious, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think that you basically hit it right on the head. What bottlenecks do we have in our legacy infrastructure? What is it that is keeping us from moving at optimal or an optimized speed?
Hmm.
And being able to have that transparency and that sharing of information in a more seamless, trustworthy way is important. So, first thing that comes to mind for me is the legitimacy of information, how it is verified, and how you can scale your process. So even from building something as technologically advanced,
Hmm.
right, and mechanically
Yeah.
advanced as something to go into the atmosphere. How are you getting your information? What does the supply chain infrastructure look like? I think people are going to start to find out that with blockchain technology, supply chain is going to go from what we think efficient is in our legacy infrastructure to really, really humming, really moving quickly,
Next
right?
level. Hmm.
And I think that that is going to be. I like to kind of joke, and when I tell people this, I'll try to make a relation. I'm originally from the state of Iowa here in the States. It's a little bit
Hmm.
smaller compared to where I live in Texas, about 10
Yeah.
times smaller. And when we moved down with my wife, I remember the first week we lived in Texas, I got excited because I could order a package at Amazon and in the morning and have it by that evening. That did not exist where I was from, and it was just something silly. I was like, "Wow, I live in a bigger area, and I'm able to get my product quicker."
Hmm.
And I just can't help but think now we're hearing about drones are going to be expediting that process, and we're
Hmm.
going to have self-driving vehicles, and we're going to have factories with autonomous workers, and it's going to be something that is how much more efficient can we become? So for
Hmm.
the infrastructure of space, it's the efficiency behind building a ship, the tracking of the fuel, the data behind that, the my goodness, the even just the ability to track essentials in the healthcare sector
Yeah.
with blockchain and being able to track vitals and have that information more secure, it's going to kind of find a way into every fabric of that experience and that venture. And so, even being aware of how those industries are incorporating this new tech and how they're helping that exploration process is something that B2B professionals should be thinking about, right?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your opinion, because it's really what really helps to understand that your every day is different, and don't fall in this trap that it's every day is the same, every day is the same. It is understanding that what people are building and what people are doing right now, it's essentially everything is an experiment. So DeFi is a big experiment, how to make the financial system better. Then the blockchains is the overall experiment for a ton of use cases, for things that can be built on top of blockchains. Blockchains can be used in them deliveries, in the supply chains, all of this stuff. NFTs can be a way for reimagining how we consume content, how we do the different loyalty programs. It's all different experiments, and this is all different thoughts. It's so the energy in this industry is like always coming new. But if you're in your day-to-day, it's very easy to get sidetracked with these regular tasks and forget about why are you doing this. And if you lose sight of why are you doing this, then it's a road that can end like in a bad position. You can get frustrated, you can get burned up, and just leave the industry. So the mindset is absolutely top one thing. And we have seen that how industry changed, like overall, not only is Web3, but all industries and all sales related jobs got changed when the AI was introduced to the space. For example, ChatGPT. And I know, Taylor, that you are using ChatGPT all the time. So how do you think Web3 or like overall BD professionals should use ChatGPT? What the most useful use cases you have found with ChatGPT that help your life easier?
Yeah, great question. Kind of going back to how I answered the initial question is, are you navigating, finding out what this looks like for yourself? And for ChatGPT, just this week, I got onto my CRM and there was a pop-up that said, hey, our new GPT integration is here. Would you like to take a tour? And so for that, it was incredible. It's got a new pop-up to integrate into your email. So you can now respond to an email very quickly with a couple prompts like conversational tone, warm, professional, or, all sorts of different ways to, again, I'm going to beat a dead horse here, optimize your process, make you more efficient, save more time. So, if you are in the creative space, you need to find ways to leverage your own creativity, because that's what makes you truly unique. There were previously barriers for people to enter into the creative space because they might not have the artistic capabilities or the creative writing capabilities. And I think a lot of people are interested in what this space is going to look like because it opens up more opportunities for some people. And here's the thing I don't think a lot of people are talking about. It amplifies the opportunities for people existing in that space already. It's going to make this space more crowded, but the cream will always rise to the top, right? If you are a professional in the content creation space, you are going to want to maximize and leverage these opportunities so that you can promote yourself. And so for AI in the creative space, writers can be writing more content, creators can be creating more, photographers can be amplifying their shots and doing new things with their photos. The opportunities there for everyone. And how are you going to use it for yourself? My wife and I were just speaking the other day. We used it to get a grocery list together. I did a quick scan of my fridge with using a camera, and I identified real quickly the information on there with a quick scan. And it went into a summary of what was in the fridge. And I said, hey, here's what I've got. What can we make? What do we need for these meals? And it went, nice. And so just little things like that, not just for your professional life, but for your personal life as well.
Yes. For professional life, there is I did 2 videos that you guys can check out in the top right corner there about ChatGPT and how it helps to sell, and few of the use cases. One of them actually you mentioned to me is that you can use ChatGPT to tap into a new industry. So let's say you need to sell to a new industry or to a new persona or whatever. You can use ChatGPT to better understand what this person is doing. So let's say you're going to tap into the news industry or like paper news industry or like whatever. You are using ChatGPT, you're asking about the common problems. So basically making a shortcut, instead of going in the industry, learning blogs, reading articles, listening to podcasts, you can just go in ChatGPT and after like 15-20 minutes of different prompts and asking ChatGPT good questions about how it is to sell in this industry, what kind of problems they have, you can get a very good understanding how do you position your product, your services around that industry, and how you actually can help to solve them their problems. So that was one of the very nice suggestions.
Yeah, and I think as these different large language, these LLMs, right? These large language learning models are kind of progressing through their beta phases of a lot of these different features, whether it's website URL scraping, or a creation of visual content like pictures, right? You'll be able to do even more interesting things like scrape information from a website, but then also go within that website's links and affiliated social channels and the content for the most popular videos and the views and what time it was published and how much engagement it got and the engagement from where it came. And all of that is data, and how that data can be digested and kind of refocused and pointed in a direction to make your marketing efforts and your business targeting better and more aligned with what you're trying to do. It'd be crazy not to at least check it out.
Yeah, for sure. And one of my favorite ways to do the business targeting, like to reach people, is having a campaign. Like if I'm going professional to B2 to Web2 businesses, then you're doing everything. You're doing emails, you're doing research. ChatGPT is helping you with everything. And by the way, yeah, in the video, check it out. But if you are like in Web3, when I'm just chatting out and I want to get in touch with someone because I see a very good fit, my favorite way to outreach is going through Telegram, because Telegram has proved to be the most successful outreaching tool for me. Like I know for some people it's Twitter, for some people it's emails. It's all depends on on use case. But for me, Telegram works. What is your favorite strategy for getting in touch with people? Maybe it's even not communication. Maybe it's like you go on the call. Maybe you go meet in person. Like I'm curious to learn.
So I'm old school in the way that I do best in a personal setting. I am a former teacher and coach, and am used to being around many people, and I like to meet in person. So when I can, I go to different networking events, meet and greets, things within my community, ways in which we can help and donate some of our time, energy, and effort. And then outside of that, finding close-knit communities that have similar interests, like your group is one where we can talk about things that we're innately interested in, Web3 and everything that encompasses, but not only Web3, but the migration and the transition into what that means for business enterprises as a whole. So I like that. I have a Signal group, I created years ago, from when my interest in distributed ledger technology and digital assets and Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of peaked back in 2017. I started, texting some family and friends, and that turned into a Signal group because of the iPhone and the non-iPhone blue and green screen chat bubble debate. And then, it kind of grew over the years to over 50 people. And we were on 4 different continents, and we're just kind of sharing information, breaking news, stories like that. But other than that, my group where we're sharing information, it's got to be Twitter. That is by far where the most up-to-date information in the space is happening. And then from there, you can get a little bit more granular if you want, and hop into Discord and find something and kind of dive a little deeper into a specific project. But yeah, if you've got Twitter and if you've got Discord or Telegram, those two are competitors. You're able to cover your bases and really have a global reach, right? You and I are an example of that.
Okay, yeah, that's true. And what's your preferred strategy for getting to the call or to the meeting with the person? Like for you personally, what worked best? Is it the single strategy when you use only one channel, or do you sometimes use multiple channels to get to people? Because there are different opinions. For some people, different things work.
Yeah, so like you mentioned before, you do a lot of things like email outreach, may do some phone call outreach, may target some ads on some socials. Some things that we've recently done is we are doing a campaign that is just kind of introducing the fact that we're living through some similar experiences from 3 decades ago with the integration of the internet and the ensuing .com boom. So to message a B2B C-suite executive is something that hundreds of people are doing every single day. And these are people who are getting hundreds of emails a day, and their phone is ringing to the point where it's more often that their voicemail is full than not. So how can you cut through the noise? How can you do something in a world where you're the 100th salesman to call them that day? And what we've found is we're just talking about, hey, something's happening right here. Something's happening. It's how people are receiving their news. It's how people are broadcasting their own content. It's how businesses are moving to more streamlined online infrastructures. and we are promoting our business in a not beat you over the head with a sales pitch way. Rather, hey, digital transformation is happening at a very quick pace right now. And we're starting to see huge head starts are being to capitalize on, right? Like
Hmm.
companies are starting to grab opportunity and they're starting to kind of venture forth into the unknown,
Yeah.
right? That risk sometimes of going into something that we don't know a lot about can be intimidating, right? But what's the reward on the other side? So I'm targeting in emails and I'm reaching out for personal introductions when it's a business that is close. I am making sure that they hear my voice as well, even if it's leaving a message. And we're targeting them on LinkedIn if they're a professional that is active on LinkedIn to show
Hmm.
them that we're not just going to send a cold email and say, here's some information, hope you like it, see you never. We're gonna say, hey, this is information that we believe could benefit you just by knowing about it. And I don't know if anyone else is sharing this with you. So if not, we'd like to be the first and we think it's important and we think that you'd like to know. So that
Hmm.
has been pretty successful. We've met with some businesses. We started doing this in May with our outreach. We called it, it's like the 1990s and the internet outreach that we're doing.
Yeah. Nice
Hindsight is an
strategy.
interesting thing. Yeah, right. Hindsight is interesting. And when I speak with these professionals and I have an opportunity to say, hey, I know if you met a door knocker in 1994 and they're like, ma'am, sir, I'm excited to tell you about the internet, the likelihood of you slamming the door in their face is probably pretty high. But knowing what we know now
Hmm.
in 2023, we wish we probably could have that conversation with that salesman or saleswoman, right, who's just trying to educate us about the internet. So professionals have learned, at least some of them have, and they're eager to not be left behind equally as much as learn new things.
For sure. Folks, if you haven't understood yet, that Taylor is the best guy to learn from him how to outreach Web2 businesses, how to have conversation with businesses that have never heard about any of these Web3 transformations, that don't understand the value, because this is really about this is less about selling and more about teaching, making people aware, and then slowly cultivating this awareness. This is the key. So if you would like to learn more about Taylor or what Mainstay are doing, check out the links below or connect with him directly on LinkedIn, and I'm sure he'll be open for a chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll end with kind of one thing that really helped me understand, and it's not something that I thought of myself. It actually came from our CEO. Um, Kelly, can you hear me still?
Yeah, all good.
Kelly mentioned, and maybe I can share the video with you. You can like embed it or something.
Hmm.
Web3 is just another version of digital transformation. It's another pin in the digital transformation roadmap.
Hmm.
So when we think of what digital transformation is with all the new innovation, there are a couple of marquee things, at least in my brain, right? I'm a 33-year-old millennial,
Yeah,
so
please tell me more.
it's easy for me to think of some marquee things, right? Like in 2007, as a junior in high school, the smartphone, the iPhone comes out, right? That was huge
Yeah.
because now the amount of people on the internet on their computers and on their laptops within a couple years because of mobile browsing drastically reduced. How about when we could start to geolocate ourselves using our smartphones? Guess what happened shortly after? Uber. So these different technologies that are happening are allowing for industries to be disrupted and things to change. So blockchain, spatial computing,
Hmm.
right? Distributed ledger technology, artificial intelligence. These
Hmm.
are all just pinpoints on what it means to be in a digitally transformative, fast paced landscape, right? And so when you stop thinking of Web3 as, you know, coins that go way up in value or profile picture non-fungible tokens of
Yes.
monkeys and you stop thinking of what is only promoted during the hype cycles and you
Hmm.
start thinking about what is going to be built on the infrastructure and how this is just another piece of the journey. It's a rather exciting piece, but just
Hmm.
another piece of digital transformation. Web3 turns into something that is much more of in my opinion, like a boat that's leaving the dock soon. And it's like tooting its horn and it's saying, hey, businesses, we've
Come
been here
on.
for a while. We've been telling you about our cool technology. We've been talking about use cases. We've been talking about documents and legitimization of information. We've been talking about financial identification for people. We've been
Hmm.
talking about access to basic human rights for people all over the world. Boats leaving here, and now people are starting to pay attention. So, just really quickly to wrap those three things up, find how it incorporates in your own circle of business,
Hmm.
find out how it's impacting people in your own circle of your personal life, and then find a source of information and be consistent with wanting to learn. Because if I gave up after the first week when I started listening to all these podcasts back in like 2015, 2016, then I wouldn't, have the job that I have right now. I was very confused when I
That
started.
would be different, Taylor.
Yeah, it would be. I would definitely be a different point in my life doing different things. So take the leap of faith and have fun during your journey, I guess.
Yeah, thanks. I really like your perspective, thinking that and really understanding that what we are doing is Web3 is like very, very small. It's a very small fraction. It's actually a very small industry, and you can judge it by the amount of salespeople in it. I don't know how many people are doing Web3 sales right now. It's around thousands, maybe 2,000. Maybe if we're super optimistic and we're taking everybody, it's like 3,000 to 5,000 people. But if you just compare these 5,000 people to other industries, like let's just even take IT, not even talking about the traditional businesses, then we are actually very, very small fraction. And there is different industries, as you mentioned, AI, Internet of Things, space exploration, like biotech, different. What
we
we are
haven't even
doing,
talked about the metaverse. Don't even get
yeah.
me started
Oh,
on
yeah.
that. So that could be a whole nother thing. But just get your information, have fun, and try to be ahead whenever you can, because that's what we're trying to do at Mainstay Digital, right? We're a digital transformation company. That is who we are. We help businesses create culture around what they're doing through lots of different services. And so we have software solutions, and I think businesses get intimidated by what's happening right now because it's all new and it's happening so quickly. And a lot of them might know that they're behind in 2023, like January 1. They might be on 2010 tech, and now they're like, well, I'm already behind and it's happening so fast. It's too late. I'm too intimidated. But when you realize that there are companies out there like Mainstay Digital who are just there to make sure that you're seizing your best opportunity with what you're trying to do and what's available now, while also just being a source of information and subject matter expertise from lots of different industries. If you check out our website, we promote other people's work all the time, whether it's, Adam Bloomberg in the financial planning sector, or if it's Jacob Zohar and his NFT magazine and the work that he does there over there with his team. There's lots of ways where you can build a community around what you're doing. And we always like to say 2 heads are better than 1, right? So find a community to learn with and find a partner to grow with, and kind of enjoy the ride together.
For sure, guys. As mentioned, links to connect with Taylor down below to check out what he's doing, his personal path, because it's very interesting and it was a very insightful conversation, and I'm thankful to you for it. And also remember that if you want to get connected to more people like Taylor and be in the circle of like-minded people that are interested in Web3, interested in moving forward and looking at things from the broader perspective, from a different angle that the market and the current narrative is, you can check out the Blockchain Business Builders group. The link is down below, and it was a very nice episode. I really liked it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope I put some interesting things on your radar, and we can continue to have discussions like this in the next meeting.
Thank you, Taylor. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So a short recap. First, if you want to get good at something, go commit to this and surround yourself with people, with industry, with materials, with everything that will help you to understand the new space better and excel in it and improve in it and evolve in it. Second thing, in your outreach strategy, when you're working with new people, it's okay if your style is going face to face, even in Web3, that's perfectly fine. You can use different channels like emails, like LinkedIn's, basically getting to the people. Third thing, if you're trying to sell or you're selling to different Web2 businesses, to people that at first need to be educated and only then you need to sell to them, is go check out what Taylor is doing, how Mainstay Digital are approaching this way, because it's all about making yourself relevant, showing people a new way, because think about this like Taylor. If you are selling internet in 1995, you're probably gonna get rejected a lot because people don't understand that this is not the time being. Think about yourself that right now is 1995, and before we hit adoption, it can be 5, 10, 15 years. And it's very important to have the longevity to understand why you're in this industry, what are you doing here, and what is the horizon, where are you actually going. And the last thing, this broader angle, this broader understanding is the thing that will help you to excel and improve in life. Think about what are you doing right now, how is it helping humanity, because if you are doing the thing that's going to be relevant in the future, you're going to be good, you're going to do well, your family will do well, and you will be in a thriving place. You will live your life understanding that you brought humanity to the new level, that to the new place where the humanity needs to be. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Check out all the links down in the description, and see you in the next video, because it's coming next week and I'm super hyped about the next week. See you guys. Bye bye.